Notice that we use the same numbers. The only difference is now I added a set of parentheses in here, which is going to make this a little bit more challenging. So let's go ahead. We're going to start as usual by drawing our line. And now the first thing I want to do when I see parentheses is I want to distribute this number that's in front of the parenthesis to whatever is on the other side. In other words, I want to take this 4 that's in front of the parenthesis and multiply it to the two numbers on the inside of the parenthesis. So for instance, I'm going to multiply 4 times x. And that's going to give me 4 x's. Then I'm going to multiply that 4 times the 8. Now in this case, we don't have a variable, and that's why I use my black pen. It's just two constant values being multiplied. And 4 times 8, if I put that into my calculator, gives me 32. It is a positive 32, so I am going to put a plus sign in front of it so that these two terms, we can see how we're combining them. Now on the right side, I'm just going to rewrite this. I notice that this 8 has an x after it, so I'm going to write it in pink because it's a variable. And then I have a constant that's positive, so I'm going to write it in black. Remember, we want to keep the constant on the right, and we want our variables on the left. So we're going to go ahead and continue solving this. So at this point, if I want to move this positive 32 to the right side of my equation, I have to do the opposite of adding, because right now it's adding, and that's going to be subtracting. Now if I subtract it from the left, I also need to subtract it from the right. And 32 minus 32 is going to give me 0. So we like to say those cancel out. Then I have 16 minus 32. Now I don't know what that is, so I'm going to go to my calculator to use it. And notice I have negative 16. So I'm going to bring this down a little bit, negative 16. So now we have all our constants on the right, but now we have a variable on the right as well. So we need to move this variable to the left. So in order to move this positive 8x to the left, I have to do the inverse operation, which is going to be to subtract 8x. And that's going to leave me with 0 x's on the right. But then I need to go ahead and I need to subtract it from the left. Now once I do that, I'm going to bring my answer down, and I have 4 x's minus 8 x's. Now again, let's ignore the x's and just recognize that we have 4 minus 8. We're just going to subtract our coefficients because the calculator won't let us put a variable in. So if I have 4 x's and I'm subtracting 8 x's from it, it's going to leave me with negative 4 x's. Now our final step at this point is we want to go ahead and get rid of this negative 4, right? Because we want just a single variable, just a 1x. So I'm going to divide by my coefficient of negative 4. And if I divide on the left, I have to divide on the right. So I'm also going to come over here to the right and divide it by negative 4. I do want you to notice that I took the sign with it, right? Whatever, if it has a negative sign in front, then we have to bring the negative sign with the number we're dividing by. Negative 4, we're going to negative 4 one time, and it just leaves me with a single x. And negative 16 divided by negative 4, I'm not sure what that is. Let's put that in the calculator. So I'm going to hit Control Divide to get my fraction bar, and I have negative 16 over negative 4. And it gives me a positive 4. So I'm going to box it, and that is my final answer for this problem.